live, yeah.
I just did, I think.
Let me check. I'll pull it up on my...
It's going live right now.
Okay.
Now it's live.
Perfect.
Should I take the camera feed off because like it's all
Let the camera feed off until we go on.
Which place to watch your game first? Tufts or Williams?
What?
Is it Tufts or Williams first?
Yeah.
Okay, so
What
you want
email?
Stinger into the graphic sequence?
What?
Riley, so you want Stinger into the graphic sequence, then cut like between graphic and Stinger out again.
Yeah.
And Stinger to...
Michael, what's yours?
Mike it up, Tufts.
Codec is wave. Love it.
You're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
Good morning and welcome to Bellow Field here on the campus of Tufts University. We are here pre-game, getting you ready for the biggest regular season game of the NESCAC season. I'm Riley Daniel, alongside me, Max Antonini and Micah Baum. It's a pleasure to have you boys with me. You guys excited for this one?
Absolutely. Should be a great competition. Lots on the line here.
Yeah, there is a lot on the line. Let's take a look at the NESCAC standings so we can show you precisely what is on the line here. As we can see here, Williams comes in today, 14 points on the board, 3 games remaining. The Jumbos with 11 points, they also have 3 games remaining. If Williams were to walk away from Bellow Field with a win today, that would put them on 17 points, only 2 points back of Amherst, and very much leave them in a position to fight for the #1 seed and home field advantage in the NESCAC tournament. It would, on the other hand, leave the Jumbos on only 11 points, where they would have to really scrap to get themselves a first-round home game. If, which might be the more likely scenario, this ends up in a draw, as these are 2 very evenly matched teams, Williams would be on 15 points. Amherst would feel a heck of a lot more comfortable knowing they only need one more win to clinch home field advantage. The Jumbos would get on 12 points, jump Hamilton, be even with Wesleyan, and they would still have within their control the ability to get home field advantage if they beat Bowdoin and win against Middlebury. And the big change would be if the Jumbos can get the win today. Amherst would still be first with 19 points, 2 games remaining. But the Jumbos, they would jump Hamilton, Wesleyan, Bowdoin, Williams, Trinity, and everyone else. They would get to the number 2 seed from where they are at number 7, be on 14 points, and put themselves in a golden position to get themselves a first-round home game, and maybe, if Amherst slips up, home field advantage in the NESCAC tournament. Now, Max, this has been a historic matchup, been played more than 60 times. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's happened the last couple times these teams have played?
So it's been a tough streak of games for the Tufts Jumbos in recent memory. 15 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw for the Williams Eafs. But that's changed in recent times, as in the last 3 matches, Tufts has come out on top. We know the NESCAC quarterfinals last year was an entertaining one. Goals from Maddie Perro and Elsie Aries took them past the Williams for a 2-0 win. And last season as well, Williams had a 1-0 victory, but the year before that, Tufts had a 1-0 victory. So it's been back and forth in recent times, but Williams have been the better side in all-time history. So I think Tufts will want to make the most of their opportunity here, make the most of their momentum, as a win, as you mentioned, would be crucial for not only their NESCAC hopes, but also to continue their unbeaten streak.
Yeah, obviously in NESCAC games, these teams are very evenly matched, so it often comes down to individual players' moments of brilliance. Micah, who you have your eye on today for the Jumbos?
I think the biggest difference maker, especially in the final third, first of all, is going to be Elsie Aries. You mentioned her there with the important contribution last season in the postseason. That really kickstarted something this year. She's on 7 goals and 4 assists on the year, leads the Jumbos in both stats, leads the NESCAC in shots on target, joint leads in shots, and second in terms of goals. So she is just going to make as much happen as she can. And right behind her in terms of goals is Talia Greenberg from midfield, 6 goals on the season, really acting as a leader in the team, most minutes of any non-defender. She's really going to be looking to make that impact as well. And behind her, Olivia Patz has already broken the 1,000-minute mark for the season. That is some feat. She's going to be a real leader in the back. Yeah,
it's crazy to think Olivia Patz had her first career start against Williams last year. Now she is the heart of this Jumbo's backline. I mean, yesterday, in on every play with those sliding tackles, seemingly breaking up every base chance. We could see her do it again today. And who do you have your eye on the other side for the Eafs? Who's going to be people the Jumbos have to keep their eye on?
Yeah, first interesting one is the goalies. Margaret Hulen has started all of the games in goal, but she's been replaced at halftime for all but 3 of those by Anna Batsi-McKay, who has yet to concede a goal in her 9 halves of soccer. But they have, between them, only let in 5 goals all season. They're the best defense in NESCAC, so that's going to be a real challenge for the Jumbos to overcome.
And a little preview, Annie Batsi-McKay, as you mentioned, is going to be starting in goal for the Eafs today. So a little change in net, but both quality keepers.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder what the mindset is behind that.
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. Ahead of her is going to be Jacqueline Nordhoff. She's real midfield maestro, I think, leading the team in terms of goal involvements for the Eafs. 3 goals and 2 assists on the season, and a senior midfielder. Again, another real leader in the middle of the park. She and Greenberg are going to be trying to make their mark on proceedings. And in front of her, Tori Huang, 4 goals in 12 games. It's not the highest tally, but it is the highest among the Eafs. They've really spread the goals around. They have 11 different goal scorers for their 23 goals on the season. One thing to note, Huang and Nordhoff have not made a goal contribution in the last 5 games, so they'll be all the hungrier to get that difference today.
All right, Max, so if you're coach Martha Whiting, what are the 3 or 4 points you're giving your team saying if we do these 3 or 4 things, we're going to walk away from here with a win?
I think something we've noticed in the past 3 games especially, which they've won 10-0 on aggregate, is just they have to get started early. They have to get goals on the board because that really can carry their momentum throughout the rest of the game. We saw all too many times so far this season. We saw against Hamilton, against Husson, that they held on to these 1-0 leads and they couldn't capitalize, couldn't get that insurance goal. So if you get started early, get on the board, that gives you so much more time to get a second one on the board. And in terms of the actual gameplay, I think something that works really well along the wings with Elsie Aries, as you mentioned, Talia Greenberg in the midfield, is transition offense. So transitioning from set pieces, transitioning into breakaways, and kind of catching the defense off guard. And I think that's a great way to really make your mark on this game. Winning possession, we've seen a bit of changes in the midfield as of late. Maggie Rogers moving kind of into the midfield. We've seen Caroline Kelly obviously doing great work in the middle of the park, and I think as any coach would say, just be more willing to shoot, get shots up.
Yeah, Max, what do you think about the decision yesterday, and we saw it again in the starting lineup today? Aoife O'Reilly out of the starting lineup, Emily Nichols in as that 6. What do you think she brings to this Jumbos lineup?
I think she brings a lot. Obviously as a freshman, she is new to this game, but clearly she has shown to Coach Martha Whiting, that is, that she's ready for these big NESCAC games, and I think she provides maybe a bit more width, a bit more attacking threat. We obviously saw Aoife O'Reilly score her first career goal against Endicott, but Maggie Rogers seems very bright so far for the Jumbos, and I think it's a justified choice.
Yeah, before we get into the keys for the Eves, Micah, what do you think momentum has to do with this game? I mean, Jumbos coming in, winning 4 in a row. Williams, on the other hand, 0-2-2 in their last 4.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, and I think on top of the 4 in a row wins, Tufts are unbeaten in their last 8, so they just have all the momentum. And while the table may show Tufts sitting in 7th, they are in, as you say, pole position to just leapfrog everyone and make all of that come to a head. Williams need to turn this around if they want to maintain their position in the driving seat for the NESCAC tournament.
All right, let's talk about what Williams needs to do if they want to win today. I mean, I think the first thing they have to do is you can't let the Jumbos get out to a lead. The Jumbos have not won a game in which they have been behind in this season, and on the other hand, if they have gotten a multi-goal lead in any game, they have won that game. Williams, they're only scoring 2 a game. They've only conceded 4 times. If they concede, go behind early, the Jumbos have been very resolute defensively since they switched to Gigi Edwards in net. It'll be very difficult to get a goal. There is the opportunity to attack, especially if they can switch the field. We saw it a little bit from Bates yesterday. The weak side backs oftentimes pinch a little too far in, and so there is the opportunity to switch it wide and look to hit the Jumbos on the cross. We'll see if the Eves can take advantage of that. And lastly, there's not going to be a ton of opportunities. These are 2 very stout defensively NESCAC teams. If you get a chance with a shot in the box, this goes for both teams really, take it, because you're not going to get many more, so you got to take advantage of the opportunities you have if you want to win this game. All right, before we sign off, I got to ask, what are your predictions for today's game? Micah, you first.
I think I'm going to go 1-1 draw. I think the East defense is going to be a real challenge for the Tufts offense, but I think in the end it'll be a good balance out between the 2.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking a little bit about this before the show. I might have my jumbo tinted glasses on, but I'm feeling a 2-1 win for the Jumbos. Obviously, you mentioned the Eves have been on a little bit of a skid recently, and that might get in their heads. And the Jumbos, 8 unbeaten so far, and especially coming off that great win yesterday against Bates, I think they'll be riding into it with a lot of confidence. Obviously, a much tougher matchup against Williams, but 2-1 for the Jumbos.
Yeah, I mean, Max, you mentioned it. 4 straight shutouts, 10-0 in the last 4 for the Jumbos. I think they keep the shutout streak rolling, get a 1-0 win. I'm going to call a goal by the senior, Talia Greenberg, and a 1-0 Jumbos win, knocking them into the 2 seed. We'll find out what happens in a couple minutes. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, me and Max will have the game live from Bello.
So hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. know you're so hypnotic, magical. You're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.